In this video, I'm going to show you how to get a $10,000 grant if you're a small business owner, an independent contractor, sole proprietor, 1099, or a gig economy worker. Now that is $10,000 that you don't have to pay back. Now I'm going to go over who qualifies, what the rules are, but most importantly, I'm going to go over the application so you can fill this thing out and hopefully get this money really quickly. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner, helping you reach your financial goals. Now, this grant is part of the CARES Act that was just signed into law on Friday, March 27th by President Trump. And this is the EIDL loan program. And EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And you can get it through the SBA, Small Business Administration. I'll leave a link in the description at the bottom directly to the site so you can see the exact page that I'm going through. And also, I'm going to put a link to the CARES Act so you can also read along, because I'm going to pull it up on the screen as we go through the rules, and then I'm going to go over into the application. I'm going to walk you through the application as well. So by the end of this video, you'll be on your way to getting the $10,000 grant. So let's start with the CARES Act. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Now this is the CARES Act, and we're going to scroll down to section 1110, which is the emergency EIDL grant. So I'm going to go ahead and zip right down to the EIDL grant. And it starts on page 66. So you can see right there, I highlighted some of the major points. So the emergency EIDL grant, EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Now, to qualify for this loan, you have to be a small business with 500 or fewer employees. And you can see right there in section B, it outlines any individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees or an independent contractor. So if you're a gig employee, you would qualify for this. If you're a 1099, you would qualify. If you're a small business owner with 500 or fewer employees, then you would qualify. So they're waiving a lot of the red tape in order to get some of these loans. So we can see here, the administrator shall waive any rules related to the personal guarantee on an advance of a loan not more than $200,000 during the covered period. Now, it also says that you have to be in business for 1 year, but it looks like they're also waiving that as long as you were in business by January 31st of 2020, then you would qualify. In addition to that, the administrator may basically not look at any of your documents. They're just going to look at solely on the credit score, or they may look at only the credit score. So they're not even requesting the tax documents. Now, here's what we know so far about those tax documents. Yesterday, the website has changed since yesterday. And yesterday, they were asking for the paper versions of all of these forms, and including your tax documents. Now, today, when I went through it, there were no tax documents being requested at all when we were going through the loan application. Now, not only are they not asking for your tax documents, and they're just going to go off your credit score, but it's a self-certification process. Look at the verification section here. Verification, I highlighted it for you. Self-certification. They're streamlining and totally eliminating the red tape in order to get access to this money. Now, whether or not they can produce it as fast as they say they will, that's still yet to be determined. But according to this, it says it right here. It says within 3 days after the administrator receives an application from such applicant. That's how fast you should be able to get this money. So it should be relatively quick with very little red tape and not filling out a whole lot, because you're going to see at the end when we're going to go through the application, it is very easy to fill out, and it will take you all of about 5 minutes. And the amount, you can see right there, the amount of the advance provided under this subsection shall not be more than $10,000. That doesn't mean you can't get a loan greater than $10,000, because you absolutely can, but they're willing to advance that $10,000 right away. And to get the $10,000 grant, this is the repayment section. So an applicant shall not be required to repay any amounts of an advance provided under this subsection, even if subsequently denied a loan. So even if they deny your loan, according to this, it's saying that you don't have to repay it. So if you get a loan greater than the $10,000, that can also possibly be forgiven. So let's scroll back up and we could see what these 5 areas are. So A, it's saying providing sick leave to employees who are affected by COVID-19. B, maintaining payroll to retain employees. And C, let's see what C says. So meeting the increased cost of obtaining materials unavailable from the applicant's original source. So if costs were increased, that could be counted as a qualifying grant. And making the rent or mortgage payments. So if you have rent or mortgage payments, those expenses would qualify. And the last one is repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue losses. So if you meet one or more of these criteria, all of the money that you use for this criteria will be forgiven. So it is possible that what we just went through took us longer than it will to go through this application to get $10,000. So let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen and walk through it together. It's sba.gov. So right on the homepage of sba.gov, we could see that there's a learn more button right there in the middle. We're going to click on it and it's going to bring us to this coronavirus small business page. Now we can see the hyperlinks and it says economic injury, disaster loan, and loan advance. Let's click on that. And then right at the very top, there is another hyperlink that says click here. I'm going to click there. Now it is loading and this is the application. So let's go ahead and go through it together. So you have to meet one of these criteria in order to qualify for this loan. So for this one, we're going to check off applicant is a business with no more than 500 employees. Now that second one is an applicant is an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees or as an independent contractor. Those are the two main ones. The other ones are different scenarios, but if any of these apply to you, check off that one. Now, if none of them apply to you, that means you're not qualifying for this loan. You're not a small business owner or 1099 or an independent contractor, but most likely it's going to be one of those top two. So we're going to scroll down. Now, this is the certification to make sure that you can actually apply for this loan. So applicant is not engaged in any illegal activity. You're going to end up checking off all of these boxes if you qualify. So if you don't qualify, you can see at the very bottom, the continue button will not turn a darker color. So you can go to the next page. So you click on all of these check boxes, assuming they're all true for you. We're going to go ahead and click continue, go to the next page. So the business legal name, so we can put this company. And you want to put whatever Inc. or LLC, if whatever is applicable to you. Trade name would be just this company. EIN, put in the EIN, 2 digits, dash. Where's my dash? There we go, dash. Just put it all in there. And then we can choose the business type. I'll choose S Corp. Is this applicant a nonprofit? No. Is this applicant a franchise? I'm going to choose no. Gross revenues. So put your gross revenues for the 12 months prior to January 31st of 2020. So $100,000. Cost of goods sold. If you have cost of goods sold, otherwise put 0. So if you are a small business owner that rents properties like on Airbnb, Booking.com, or long-term rentals, then you could put lost rents due to the disaster. I'm going to put 0 for this walkthrough. And nonprofit cost of operation, that's optional. Combined annual operating expenses for the faith-based entity. I'm just going to skip that. And you don't need any of that information. Primary business address. 123 this street. Pick a state. I'll pick Florida. That's where I'm at. And we'll put 33602. 123. And then put the date of the business established. So January 1st, 2000. And if you're still the same owner, January 1st, 2000. Obviously, put whatever the date your business started. And if there was an ownership change, put the date you were the owner. And if it hasn't changed, you've owned the business from the beginning, then just put the same date. Business activity. And you could put whatever is relevant for your particular business. So the number of employees would include yourself if you're a W-2 employee. So you're paying yourself as a W-2, then you're considered an employee. So if that's the case, then add 1 for yourself. Otherwise, put 0. If you don't have any employees and you're sole proprietor, then you would just put 0 here. So let's go ahead and click on next and go to the next page. Is your business owned by a business entity? No. And then put all of your basic information here. And if you have additional owners, go ahead and add an additional owner. And I'm just going to choose next. Now this page is the additional information, and just go ahead and read the questions and check off what applies to you. It is no. If you haven't done any of these things, it's no. So I'm going to scroll down. If anyone assisted you in completing this application, put this information. Do not put my information. I did not assist you in completing this application. We're going to scroll down a little bit further. And would I like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000? Check off yes. Put your banking information, whatever bank that you bank at, your account number. There we go. And the routing number. I'm just going to type it in until it goes green there and scroll down. And under penalty of perjury, check that off. Then click next. And then you can see a summary of everything that you filled out. Click the box that you're not a robot and then click submit. I'm not going to click submit because this is a fictitious application, but that is that quick and easy to fill this thing out. Now on the next page, you're going to get a confirmation number. Print it out. Print it out in a PDF, keep it on your computer, print it out and keep it with you so you have a record that you filled it out. If you want to get in contact with the SBA, good luck. It's been really difficult. In fact, if you call them and you get in contact with somebody, let me know in the comments down below. There were 350 people on the phone queue when I called in this morning. And after about 30 or 40 minutes, I got disconnected. I tried it 2 or 3 other times and the same thing happened. It was really, really frustrating. I kept on trying to call back, and you get a frontline staff member who puts you into a phone queue for their tier 2 once you tell them that you have an application and you're just trying to follow up on it. So it's a complete disaster trying to follow up with this information, but hopefully the money gets distributed a little bit quicker and you can move on with your life and hopefully keep your business afloat. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you have any questions about going through this application or going through the process, go ahead and leave those comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.